Which countries don't seem dangerous, but really are? Norway. Each year, quite a lot of tourists die here because they underestimate the nature. People come here to get some amazing pictures like they've seen online, and then don't realize that you need appropriate clothes/gear and that you should probably not take a selfie at the edge of a giant drop. Also, since it's regularly asked in r/Norway, no, you can't just go hiking in northern Norway in the winter without skis, snowshoes, especially not in avalanche-prone areas. I live in the Netherlands, and I'd say it's quite safe for tourists here. And then I remembered the time I was visiting Amsterdam and saw a sign warning tourists about some stupid gang selling white heroin as cocaine. Don't fall for the myth that anything goes in Amsterdam. People, hard drugs are as illegal and unsafe as anywhere else. Traffic in Thailand and Vietnam. One of the highest rates of traffic fatalities in the world. Australia? I've met plenty of European tourists who have wanted to just drive through the outback while being woefully underprepared. Just basic stuff, like not knowing what to do in an emergency and not having enough water. It's not a joke. People die out there all the time, and it'll be 40°C plus and hundreds of kilometers before you see someone again if something goes wrong. New Zealand, we don't have any animals, insects, or snakes, etc. that will kill you. But we got the most amazing hole in our ozone layer. White people will get sunburnt within 30 minutes in the summer, unprotected. I get sunburnt within 15. If I spent a whole day in the sun without protection, I'd be willing to bet I'd still be sunburnt peeling a month later. Sweden, for example, it's all sleek design and meatballs until you stumble into a moose traffic jam. While I wouldn't say dangerous, Ireland has a strong and growing antisocial behavior problem that is not being sufficiently addressed. You are paired with 100 random humans. If you're better than all of them at something, you win $1 billion. What are you doing? Making me orgasm. Even if I'm wrong, it'll be a great time. OP can turn off the comments now. We found the best answer. Guessing numbers that I think of. Running a freight train over my particular section of track. There are 11 people currently qualified to do so, and a handful of retired quick guys who could possibly do it. Maybe 30 people tops in the entire world who know the track well enough to run over it. Way to use running a train in a way I never expected, the way it was intended. If it's 100 random people from anywhere in the world, speaking my native language. Strategic contract drafting. We're all coming out of this with 10 mil each. What's a practical tip or trick that's deceptively simple, yet remarkably effective, causing you to wonder why it's not more universally recognized? Using the words, excuse me, please, and thank you to structure a request for something goes a long way when interacting with work colleagues. It seems not everyone got that memo. There is an actual technique to stop hiccups that is based on actual science. Breathe in as deeply as you can. Hold it for 5 seconds. Without breathing out, try to suck in just a bit more air. Hold it for 5 seconds. Without breathing out, try to suck in a last tiny bit of air. Hold it for 5 seconds. Breathe out. You are resetting your diaphragm. If you do it right, if it doesn't work first time, try once more. If you have trouble choosing, flip a coin. While it's in the air, your brain will automatically start to wish for what it wants. Then you can choose easily. When a large cluster of people are walking towards you, you can make them all move out of your way simply by walking slower than them. It's crazy how the human mind works. If your BuzzFeed article is due Friday, but you've got no ideas, you can just crowdsource an article on AskReddit. Before I do anything, I ask myself, would an idiot do that? And if the answer is yes, I do not do that thing. How would you feel if someone you were dating asked you to get an STD test before having intercourse for the first time? Happy they take STDs seriously. Glad they're responsible when they have sex. Assuming they also get tested regularly. You should never feel insulted by that, ever. That's good for everyone's health. I would feel like they have at least some of their shit together. Green flag? You are in fact supposed to do that. Relieved that they care about that thing, and I can get the same test from them without things being awkward. Happy for 2 reasons. 1, I can ask her the same thing too. I know for sure she wants to have sex. What's known to exist only because it was caught on camera. The fact that when a horse gallops, all 4 legs are off the ground at one point. Horses move so fast no one knew for sure until they could snap a picture during a horse race. There are a large number of archaeological sites that were only discovered once aerial photography became a thing. Sprites, vertical firing, red tinted and cold lighting. They were theoretical until one was captured on camera in 1989. For the longest time, talk of water walls was seen as seaman's yarn, with even the scientific community seeming it as impossible for such huge, coherent waves to form without breaking apart. And most terrifying, we only have recordings from large steel ships who can tank such waves. Any ship before those simply disappeared without any trace. Jimmy Carter being attacked by a hissing swamp rabbit. Giant sequoias. Early explorers would come across them in the very few groves where they exist high in isolated mountains, and excitedly try to describe them to others once they were back in civilization. Nobody believed them. This was the height of all kinds of exploitative bullshit, like snake oil and traveling sideshows with mummified mermaids. And it's not like you could just cut a chunk the size of a house off of this absolute unit of a tree and carry it down the mountain. Photography is what got people to believe. What's the most unethical life hack you know? Have a large, professional-looking camera, get a bright vest that says press on it, an ID, go to town, almost free access anywhere. This happened a while ago at a local zoo near me. For 20 years, there was a guy in a shed charging for parking. No one questioned this, as he wore a high-vis vest and had a clipboard and change bucket. The one day he didn't show up, the zoo called the council to see where their parking attendant was. The council said, "What attendant? We thought he was working for you." Dude is probably retired in a private island because no one bats an eyelid to a bright yellow vest and confident expression. If you shop around at garage sales or Goodwill, some brands offer lifetime warranties. In the self-checkout aisle, you call the shots. Organic pears become regular pears. Organic apples become regular pears. Organic meat becomes regular pears if you tear off the barcode. The scanner is just a mindless machine. Take control of your own destiny. If you're looking for parking and you ended up somewhere where rows of cars got fined, just pull up, park your car, walk over to one of those cars, take the fine from their windscreen, and put it on yours. Enjoy your day. Girl Scout cookies are able to be resold easily. Girl Scouts are terrible at spotting counterfeit currency. McDonald's serves breakfast after 11 if you bring a gun. What used to be considered nonsense, but now many people use it? For me, extra screens? I don't know why I thought I could do all that work with 20 tabs open on one small laptop. I remember watching The Matrix back in '99 and seeing Neo's real-world setup at the beginning of the movie, where he had like 3 monitors and music blasting and shit everywhere, and just thinking, that seems amazing. That looks totally ideal. And people thought I was nuts for thinking that would ever be more than just a cinematic hacker fantasy. Look who's laughing now. It's me, sitting in my nest of crap. Ha ha ha. I remember people considering the idea of ordering pizza online kind of a joke in the 90s, not something the average person would ever do. Back in 2005-ish, you could type /pizza in EverQuest 2 and it would open a Pizza Hut menu. It was actually coded into the game, so you didn't have to tab out of gameplay when you got hungry. Privacy concerns used to be mocked, especially things like covering your webcam. Now it's just generally accepted that companies are spying on us. I recall a lot of people making fun of smartphones / the iPhone as totally pointless when it came out, and that they'd never need it, a phone like that, when all they need is a phone. Every single person I heard say that stuff now owns a smartphone. I was an early adopter of texting, and all my friends hated it. The non-texter is a real rarity now. What is something designed for women that has obviously been designed by a man? Wasn't there some guys on Shark Tank or something like it that made gloves for women to use to change their menstrual products? They were single-use and pink or something? Wait till they hear about a crazy newfangled phenomenon called hand washing. There is a patent for labia glue that dissolves when you pee on it. Do use while on your period to hold the blood in. A male chiropractor invented and tried to sell it. So that I just buy the regular man version if I want to use a razor. Okay, this is niche, but I hate it whenever I go to sit at a bar and there are no hooks under the bar. Double points if the stools don't have a back where I can loop my purse coat over the seat back, and I am stuck piling my purse and or coat in my lap. Same for public restrooms. Please put a hook on the door so I'm not precariously balancing my purse on my lap or worse, on the floor. Well, that's another episode of Ask Reddit in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.